All right, welcome into another episode of the Endzone Experts. Today we're getting into. I'm gonna stop saying I say too much. I gotta stop doing that. And I do it again. We're gonna get into the mid-season check-in. It's been the first, just about halfway mark, the halfway point of the season.
Mhm.
At least definitely for fantasy. So we want to get into the players that we wish we drafted more of, drafted less of, and a couple other little things we'll throw in there. But yeah, you got me, Hype FFL. You can follow me on everything there. My partner over here.
OTL over on Twitter at OTLF Football. Yeah, I'm also on TikTok at OTLFF, posting over there pretty
Mm-hmm.
consistently this week or this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You do a lot of, like we say, I always mention that you go viral like twice a week on Twitter. And TikTok, you usually have a pretty good momentum going there as
They
well.
do all right. The
Yeah.
weekly rankings do they do a lot better on TikTok than Twitter lately, which
Mm-hmm.
is surprising. I don't know, the weekly rankings just haven't been doing well on Twitter. It's just I feel like everyone does them, so I don't really
Yeah.
think people care too much about a list of players, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
It's
yeah.
it's
Go ahead.
super
Sorry.
and it's no, you're okay, you're okay. It's super inundated, I think, on X.
Yeah,
Like everybody is putting it out there. I don't even do one. I just go with like
yeah,
players I like, players I don't like, and I tell you who that is, and we go from there. Like
yeah.
ranking, for me, like ranking each player,
It's
it's
really hard.
hard. It's
Yeah,
really hard, like week to week ranking it out is really hard. And like it's like more power to the people who do it because it's tough, and it's so like semantic based. Like there's so tiny
yeah,
little things. Like I just like this guy to do good this week. I like this guy to not do good this week. That's kind of where I
yeah,
sit. So that's kind of where I like to run it. But yeah, no offense to the list makers. I think it's good work. It's hard to do. It's just
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, cool. So let's start this baby off with the mid season check in. So this was OTL's plan here. I liked it. He sent it to me. I like this idea. So we're going with this. It's really awesome. Seems like a lot of fun. The first thing is players that we wished we had drafted more of. I'll start with you, OTL, because
Oh, you
I
like this one?
told you to draft this guy. So yeah, let's start
Well, the
with you.
season's not over yet.
Yeah,
Season's not over yet, but
true.
Christian McCaffrey for sure as a
Mhm.
end of first round pick. There were a couple drafts I had where I was at like the 7 or 8 spot, didn't even consider him because of the injury risk. Um, and I went with guys like Neighbors who are done for the season, ironically. And then I also went with guys like Brian Thomas. Really went wide receiver heavy this year when I was at the end of the first, and that was a bad strategy this year.
Mhm.
Running backs are just dominating this year, like Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, Bijan Robinson less so because he was a top of the first round pick,
Mhm.
but at the end of the first, like you could easily had Jonathan Taylor every time. But I think it's kind of a reflection of being a slave to ADP and not considering guys who will have like 20 or in the 20s when you're at the end of the first round. So, but yeah, going back to Christian McCaffrey, he's had 20 points in every game this year. He's just a PPR like animal, just
Mhm.
6 to 10 receptions a game. I think he has more receiving yards than rushing at this point as well. But yeah, he's still a cheat code. Um, whatever they did to Germany, whatever they did to him in Germany worked. The stem cells in his calves,
Yeah.
he's got vibranium in his calves now. He's
Mhm.
the only healthy 49er. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's just a lesson in going big or going home in fantasy. Like taking big swings is the way to go, rather than like safer picks, kind of.
Yeah, it's like I always say, scared money don't make money. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
I invested into CMC as much as I could this year, and luckily it's paying off pretty well. But on the flip side of that, I did invest a lot in Henry. There's a good
Yeah.
More leagues than I would have thought. I have him and CMC, Henry and CMC together.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
like at week 1, it looked like an absolute league wrecking strategy, but then
Yeah.
Henry kind of fell off. But it seems like he's getting back up there. But me and all my homies, we hate Henry right now because of what he's been
Yeah.
doing to me. My first year, I got him. But yeah, the drafting wide receiver in the first round, there's something I can never remember the guy's his real name, but Fantasyland. He's a growing bigger channel on YouTube right now. I'll pop him up somewhere in here to check him out. He's puts out a lot. I can't talk today. A lot of really good stuff, and he put out this whole thing about in the offseason, how drafting wide receiver in the first round pays off way more often than it does for running back. It usually pays off better for running back later. Well, in the season in 2024, it had sort of changed a little bit because of
Yeah.
how like the running back came back, and then it did it again this year. So it might just be running back is back, like RB is king again, and
Yeah.
draft him, because look at all the first round receivers. Lamb's been fine, but he's missed time, and like
Yeah.
Jefferson's been good. Jamar Chase had a slow start, but now he's okay. But then like your BTJs, your Malik Neighbors, like these guys are all
Yeah.
hurt, not there, not playing well.
Jefferson's not living up to his
Yeah.
level. Top 5 receiver.
He's kind of Jamar Chase. Like he's getting back in. It's picking up,
Yeah.
but it's like
But
you didn't draft these
the
guys.
floor isn't what it used to be.
Yeah.
For Jefferson, at least this year.
Yeah, you're not drafting them for like you're not drafting him to be like any week. Like you should just not even be thinking about it,
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but to continue on that point, JT, Jonathan Taylor's my player. I wish I had got more of him. He's breaking leagues right now, and I liked him in the off season. I just, the way that I had everything, I just never really got my hands on him. How my rankings went in a lot of the places that I drafted from, it just never ended up happening. But there's a couple times where I thought about grabbing him. Well, wish I had now. So yeah. JT's really the big guy. He's going insane this year with the Colts. And people were nervous because of the Colts situation going into the season, assuming that Jones was going to suck, and he hasn't. The whole team's been playing really well. Like we talked about last week, the Jim Irsay like juice. They might win it all this year for him. Who knows?
Yeah.
So that's my guy, JT.
I don't think it was a bad process to think Daniel Jones would suck. I think
of course not.
The 6-year sample size we had of Daniel Jones not being great, it was pretty reasonable. But I think the fact that Jonathan Taylor, he also had one of these offensive player of the year seasons not too long ago, and he's just been hit with injury luck. He kind of got labeled as injury prone with how he pretty much, he was the undisputed 101 after that offensive player of the year season. And then he was banged up all year, never really came along, never really got going that year. And then kind of the same story the next year. But then he came on late in the year last year, kind of went on a tear in the fantasy playoffs. So I don't know. I thought he was a decent pick where he was going, but I didn't think he would be in as good of an offense he is right now, and that's really helping his case right now.
Yeah, I mean you kind of spoke on the late season push that he had, and in the off season before the season, I did this big breakdown with him, and he gets hurt, but it's not for the full season. It's generally only for a handful of weeks at most. And when he plays, he's still if he's on the field, he's very good. The back half of the year, it's funny you said that, is he's only missed one stretch of fantasy playoffs, and when he plays in them, he averages 24 points a week. So he's someone you can get you'll start strong with him. You might miss some mid-season stuff with him, and then you get him back. And if you've got him for playoffs, he's winning you your season. So,
Yeah.
like, he's just got this weird. But if he's fully healthy, he's awesome. It's just
Yeah.
like you said, everyone was worried about the offense, and his price has the injury stuff baked into it.
Yeah. It did, but now
Yeah.
it doesn't. I mean, if we were redrafting today, he'd be 101, 102.
Yeah, he'd be a top 5 pick easy. For sure.
I think top 3. I mean, CMC and I don't know, Jamar Chase or Bijan maybe would go.
Yeah, I think it'd be, if we were redraft right now, I think it'd be like CMC, Bijan, and then like either JT or Jamar. I think would be your first 3 picks to go. And
JT just doesn't catch enough.
Yeah.
He doesn't get enough receiving work as Bijan and CMC.
Yeah.
But he gets 3 touchdowns a game. So
but he gets plenty
that cancels out.
Yeah. He gets away with that.
Yeah.
All right, so on to the next players that you drafted less. This one I will go first. Calvin Ridley. He's my guy. For this year I drafted a lot of him. I had assumed that things would be a little different for their offense this year with a quarterback who's like not bad. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Now, it looks like after they got rid of I'm drawing a blank. Callahan. They got rid of Callahan. It looks like they might have found a little something in the offense, and Cam Ward, like, instantly this last game, he was playing a little better, at least in the first half of the game. And it feels like maybe they've been able to find something they can build on. And we'll see where that carries on. But of course, Ridley's hurt right now, and he's only had really like one good game. And it really bums me out because I was super excited. But who knows? The back half of the season might be good. He gets back on the field. The offense is feeling better. Like, he might be able to pick it up. But unfortunately, I don't have time for that. So I wish I hadn't. Who's your guy?
I mean, it's a similar process and a similar hoping he turns it on towards the end of the season, but it's Travion Henderson.
Yeah.
I was really in on him, fell for the preseason hype. That kick return did irreparable damage to me this year. I have him in, I think, like 3 out of 8 leagues as like a top 4 pick, top 4-ish rounds as my RB2 or even my RB1. Thinking he'd just easily take the job from Ramondre, but
he not just the return. He had a few, like, when he touched the ball, which was a few times, which felt like there was a reason for that. But when he touched the ball, he looked good. So
yeah,
it's hard to. I get it.
Yeah, but this past week, only 2 touches for 5 yards on a 9% snap share. Like, it's about as buried as you can possibly be. And then Vrabel kind of talking well about the practice squad guy that is playing above him.
Yeah.
Terrell Jennings, I think.
Yeah. He looked
just a guy no one's ever heard of.
Yeah.
Which over your second round pick.
That's the thing with Vrabel is did you watch the Forge and Fire stuff before their show on YouTube? I did, and there's like this really big thing that he goes into about how I don't care what round you were drafted, if you're a free agent, if you're whatever you are, like, everyone's on a level playing field, and like you get a chance. So if you're doing something right, you get to play. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's sticking to his guns on that.
At a certain point, you got to give the guy you invested a second round pick in like couple carries a game,
Right.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen them give him like an outside zone or like a screenplay or it's like they're running him up the middle, and that's not his game. Like he dominated on the outside carries his entire college career because Judkins was the bruiser. And that tandem could work well if you just let Ramondre take the beating up the middle and give Travion 3 or 4 catches a game on the outside, but doesn't look like that's going to happen this year.
Probably not.
No, I mean 9% snaps is just ridiculous in a blowout game too.
Yeah, he should have had more than that, man.
So that's a guy I had him ranked over Christian McCaffrey. preseason.
Yeah.
Like,
Should I ask you right now about your ranking of CMC being like
yeah,
40th?
I mean,
Yeah,
he was
that was
he was like my 18th running back.
yeah. Oh
So
man, try to tell you. I try to tell you,
you
but
did.
it's okay. It's okay. All right. So, going on to the next segment here that you brought up, which I like, is players performing well that you think will regress the rest of the season. Um, I really like your pick, and I want you to get. We actually picked players from the same team.
I know
Um,
we did that for a couple of these. I think we did
yeah.
that for the next one too.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
I did it. I'm not player performing well that you think will regress. I am stupid, and I did a player that I thought was gonna do.
Well, aren't
I
they?
put them back. I did them. Oh, we're still good. I just did them backwards. Okay,
Okay.
so all right, so never mind. Go ahead. You go ahead. We did it opposite. We picked players from the same team, opposite category. So go ahead and
Okay.
do yours.
So the player that I think is performing well that'll regress.
Yes.
That's what we're doing. Okay.
Yeah.
So my guy here is Achan. Simply for the fact he's the RB5 right now. I don't think he keeps that level up, even in like a PPR league. There's just way too many good running backs right now. And the way the offense is trending, Mike McDaniel's probably gone after week 12, the week 12 bye. I would assume that's the latest. It could even be this week. I think they got the Falcons. They're playing the Falcons away. It's probably going to be a loss, and then they'll fall to 1-7. So who knows? But yeah, it's a ticking time bomb. I would imagine Tua gets benched at some point in the season too. You've got Quinn Ewers as the backup there, or maybe Zach Wilson. But his splits with and without Tua are just they're so ridiculous. He averages 22 with him and then 8 without him. So he's just not a player I am too excited about rest of the season. If you could move him off for, I don't know, Josh Jacobs, James Cook, even someone like Javante or Scatabo or Kyron, I think you could maybe get a little more on along with them just for the reputation Achan has. But I would honestly consider doing those like 1-to-1 deals just to move into a running back in a better offense that has hope this season, because the Dolphins are just done, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, so I still actually did it wrong. I just decided to do two players that I think will do better as the season goes on, I guess.
We'll just give them both.
Just not thinking. But so I just realized I did that. But real quick, I'm just gonna toss out just the regress one real fast. Because that's what I was just looking for. And the one I found was Keenan Allen. I think he started strong. He got the touchdowns. We already saw the dip without scoring. And he, of course, it's bold coming off of the game he just had. But that's the thing is, I think it's gonna cycle. It's starting to get to where it's gonna cycle a little bit. Like everyone had a decent game at least this last week, but Keenan Allen obviously had the best one. He's not gonna get 13 targets a week. It's not gonna happen. The running game's gonna get going. Hampton coming back, like it's gonna slow things down for the passing offense for sure. So, and I think they're like the defenses they play are a little better against, or a little less good against the run. So, I think he's going to start regressing back down a little ways. So that's somebody that I would just kind of pick off the fly there.
Well, he's like wide receiver 7 right now.
Yeah, and he'll go down for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna last. He'll have he's gonna have a few games like that, near that good again, I'm sure. It's just not gonna be that much now.
But yeah, the Chargers offense is just so spread out. Yeah, unpredictable too.
Yeah.
I think Herbert is like the one guy you can trust every week doing well. But I mean, Vidal this past week he had like 8 points.
Yeah.
Quinn Johnson kind of got phased out with Gadsden coming along. Lad McConkey and Keenan Allen had their like double-digit targets, and they had good games. But
yeah,
like every week it's going to be someone not getting the 12 or 15-point game. They'll get like 6. We kind of saw that early on with Ladd. People were panicking on him, but now he's kind of come on, be more consistent. But it's a tough offense to project every week.
And they're not going to be getting blown out early every week.
Yeah, Herbert's not going to be thrown for 400 yards every week.
Too. Yeah, like they just played a really good team that got up on them fast, and they're not going to be doing that all the time. So, like, not everyone can eat. And clearly when not everyone can eat, Keenan Allen's the one that's sort of not getting as much to eat, So I do think it's him who can kind of regress. Now, because I did 2, I'm just going to really quick. The next segment or section would be the other way around. Players that have been not doing well that we think will bounce back. It's funny though, we picked players from same teams here. So Jalen Waddle, just real fast. This is the one that I put in for my supposed to be regress on accident. I think he'll do a little better if he gets traded and goes to a team that needs him. I know, like, the Giants at one point were a big conversation about, like, them grabbing him.
That would be awesome.
It would be really awesome.
Yeah.
If that doesn't happen, I do think that they still try to get him rolling. Like, they need someone in the pass game to get cooking, and I think it's Waddle. And honestly, I do think the last game being a terrible weather game against the Browns defense, it's just the way the script played out, it was tough. I think in like clean weather, that game's a little different for him, and he has a better game. So I do think Waddle is somebody, especially if he gets traded, someone who could pick it up. But the one that I really want to go with is Saquon. Saquon's obviously has had like a really terrible, not terrible, but just not a Saquon. You didn't draft him where you got him for what he's doing right now. But it looks like Philly's starting to get that passing offense going, and that should start making the defense like not focus only on Saquon. And I think that's what it is everyone just, all we care about is shutting down Saquon. And now that Hurts is getting it going a little bit, and the offensive, like the passing offense is starting to shine, I think they'll have to start worrying about that more. Saquon will get more opportunities. They play their best ball when Barkley is rolling, and later in the season when they really got to get these wins and stay, at play for their 1 seed or whatever it is, they're going to really be leaning on him. And that could be part of it too. They might be just not leaning on him yet. They want to save him for when this starts mattering more.
Yeah.
So I think all of that combined just makes it so he's somebody I can see really getting back to his like league winning ways in the second half of the year.
Yeah, I agree. And kind of going off the Eagles offense, my player is AJ Brown. After he's had back-to-back pretty solid performances. He had 14 against the Giants. And then this past week, obviously the 2 touchdown game versus the Vikings, who I was saying to sit both of those guys, and they go out there and combine for 300 yards. So
I know we both really were like, yeah, don't play them.
He was they were both a popular, just across like the fantasy Twitter, like they were popular sits. And of course, I think it's just you got to trust the studs even after a couple poor performances. But yeah,
it's like very fantasy to be, as soon as everyone's leaning in on something, it just hits you and says, no,
exactly.
Actually, you're wrong.
Every time it's like, you think you figured the game out. You think you found that the Vikings are really good against receivers.
Right.
They're actually not.
Nope, not this week.
They're actually going to give up the worst game ever to wide receivers. But I just think the Eagles as a whole will get going. I think Saquon will get going too. But right now, AJ Brown's wide receiver 25. I think he finishes like what at low end wide receiver 1, maybe high end wide receiver 2 towards the end of the year. And he's still maybe a player you can buy low. It's not as low as it was 2 weeks ago. I think it's still a discount of where his price should be.
Yeah. Like 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think I saw him go for J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah,
something
like that.
A league mate needed a running back, and another one needed a receiver, and he was just taking the shot on AJ and sold J.K. Dobbins for him. And look at that, like get him while the getting's good.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So that's kind of a new thing. Our midseason check in here. Um, so yeah, you guys let us know if there's anybody that you feel the same way about in any of these down in our comments,
Yeah.
and you can reach out to us on Twitter as well and talk to us about them there. So let's get to the meat and potatoes here. We're gonna do our players of the week, and last week we did it. Like each of us just went through the guys we start, and then the next one did, and we liked that. So I think we're gonna roll that way this week. And last week I had you kick it off, so I will. So for my starts this week, who I really really enjoy is Cortland Sutton versus Dallas. Again, exploiting the Dallas defense. My one note for this is it's Dallas. So Cortland Sutton will most
They,
likely do great. Like
they actually got passed in points per game to wide receivers by the Colts. Did you see that?
oh, did they? I did not see that.
Yeah,
No.
they're no longer number one.
Wow.
It's like 42 to like 41.5 now.
Well,
Advantage Colts
that'll change.
after this week.
Yeah, I think Cortland's about to have an insane game against Dallas, and it's just that simple. It's just that, and Bo Nix is picking up his game. So Cortland versus Dallas. So that one's quick and easy. Next is Brees Hall for my running back. I really like him versus the Bengals. It's like what the Bears were the fix all for all running backs. It has now become the Bengals. Everybody's having a field day against them. Brees Hall is going to do the same. It's Brees. Tyrod Taylor is going to be starting this week. So they're going to want to get the run game rolling for sure to kind of ease Tyrod Taylor into throwing the ball. And because Tyrod does like to sling it, I think that will make the defense not like cheat up so much against the run, which it doesn't matter anyway. So yeah, that's just Brees Hall. That's another pretty simple one. And then so here's one that I think might be sort of surprising to some people is Pickens versus Denver. I did two receivers on accident, and I said, screw it, I'm rolling with it. Surtain's going to be shadowing Lamb. So someone's got to be open, and it's going to probably be Pickens more often than Lamb this week. Denver's defense is not as scary as advertised. If you look at the weeks that they've had good weeks, it's against dumpster fire teams. Like the Jets and the Bengals, like those are making them look better than they are when they're playing good teams. They actually get sort of cooked. So they're other than Surtain, like Surtain does his thing for the most part, but that defense is not terrifying. Like look at the Giants and a rookie starting his third or fourth game this year, like had a great game against them. It was really they should have been beaten, but the Giants defense lost the game for them. So like they're not that scary. Don't be so afraid. I think we're going to start seeing that in the second half of the season as they're playing more competitive teams. So George Pickens, I think, actually he was almost a smash play for me this week because he's gonna have a really good week. He's getting in the end zone for sure, and Dak's just slinging it. Nothing's gonna change there. And then Joe Flacco versus the Jets defense for my quarterback.
Revenge game.
A revenge game. Well, he has like 10 of those, but yeah, he has a revenge game. It's a loaded room of weapons. Clearly, it's working. Like he's just like Jamar Chase is out there somewhere. He's throwing it to him. It's working out because it's Jamar Chase.
Well aware.
T. Higgins. Yeah. He's even making Noah Fant like look a little better now. So the situation for Joe is just good. I tried to go get him where I could in waivers this week just for buy fill-ins and things like that, just to have them in case, for matchup situations and injury reasons. So definitely a good guy to have there. K. Dalton, super simple for tight end. Without Evans, he's been getting a ton of targets. It's going to be like him and Irving's out again. So it'll be him and Igbuka probably all week. Igbuka should have had an actual
week too.
And Godwin's still out too. Yeah. Like Igbuka should have had a nuke this last week, but for some reason, Baker started thinking his receivers are 15 feet tall. I don't know what was going on there.
Yeah, that was his worst game of the year. It was really bad.
It was just weird. It was really just a weird game. Igbuka should have had a crazy good game. Even Tez too. Tez probably should have even had a better game, but yeah, he
Yeah.
was just overthrowing a lot. It was just an off game, so that all comes back to normal. Cade and Egbuka will have good weeks, and just Atlanta's defense. They play Miami, so it's just good defense to play.
Simple enough.
Yeah, yeah. So that's mine. That's mine. That's a lot of words, dude. Yeah.
I know
Uh,
it's kind of like just gotta run through it all.
right. Yeah, you're up, dude. Let's hear what you got.
Yeah, well, on the other side of the Unk Bowl, I got Aaron Rodgers as my must start quarterback, and I
Yeah.
think I don't know. I know it doesn't mean anything like tangibly, but the fact that this is a revenge game and how revenge games have gone this year, I do like that a little bit on top of the reasons.
Mhm.
But the Packers secondary alone, it's struggled this year. They've given up back-to-back 19-point games to Jacoby Brissett and Joe Flacco.
Mhm.
They gave up 31 to Dak, 19 to Jaden Daniels. They held Goff and Flacco to under 12 points, but that Lions game was the first game of the year, and they held Browns Joe Flacco to like 6 points. Like,
Yeah.
congratulations!
Yeah.
Like, I think we can kind of throw those games out and look at what legit offenses are doing. And the Steelers are a legit offense this year. Rodgers is looking really good. Not just being a homer, but he's had multiple spike weeks. He just threw a 70-yard Hail Mary last week. Like, the
Yeah.
arm strength is obviously still there. So I think he's a great streaming option this week.
And the Packers defense
Yeah,
is they're slacking a little bit too. I work with a
yeah,
sorry to, just really quick. I work with a Green Bay Packers fan, and we were talking about it today at work. And like the defense is like it's falling off. It's not the same as it
yeah.
was the first few weeks. So yeah, just throwing that in there.
They are like they should be much better than they are, but they
I
just don't
think
have the secondary talent outside of McKinney. And all I've seen
exactly.
from Packers fans is he's not playing up to his like all pro level either. So
Yeah, and I think Dak and the Cowboys sort of gave a blueprint to like what
yeah,
works. So people are sort of following suit. And my other good friend, who I've been friends with for a long time, is a Packers fan. Before the season started, he was skeptical about the defense because of the secondary, and this dude knows
yeah,
he knows ball. If he had time, he'd be doing this stuff with me a lot. But he was saying he's super skeptical about their secondary, and now it's
yeah,
starting. The Cowboys expose it, and people are watching that and realizing how to beat them. So, yep, yeah, go.
yeah.
You keep going. Sorry.
Um, but yeah, I want to also add. I think some people may be scared of Dak this week against the Broncos defense, but don't be.
Don't.
I didn't want to put him as a must start because he's just a locked and loaded quarterback every week.
Yep.
But if you're a little worried about the Broncos matchup, don't
Mhm.
be. Just to add that in
Yeah.
for quarterbacks. But my running back is Kamara versus the Buccaneers. Um, Kendre Miller is done for the year, and that's actually a pretty big thing.
Yeah.
He was taking significant work from Kamara. He was taking like 5-10 carries a game.
I
Um,
know, man. Pour one out for my boy, dude. Kendre is my boy.
yeah, that's a
Yeah.
tough loss. He was finally coming around after not really doing much his first two seasons.
I know.
Um, but they're going to give it to Uncle Kamara, and he's going to keep cooking.
Mhm.
But the Buccaneers, they're giving up the most receiving work to running backs this year, giving up 5 catches and around 60 yards per game to running backs. And they're allowing 26 fantasy points per game to running backs. And just over the course of the career, Kamara's faced the Bucks 14 times, and he averages 20 a game against them. So
Damn.
should be another solid week for him.
Yeah.
He should be a safety valve. He's been a little underwhelming this year, but I think this may be his week to get back on. I think you just trust the long resume of work we have with Kamara to kind of get back on his horse.
Mhm.
And then T. Higgins coming up against the Jets. I mean, you talked about with Flacco, he's completely revived this offense.
Mhm.
Higgins has seen back-to-back games or he saw 8 targets in his game against the Packers and then 10 targets versus Steelers. 11 fantasy points and 21 fantasy points in those games.
Mhm.
And Sauce Gardner is probably going to be out this week with a concussion, which he would have been shadowing Chase, obviously, but that just means the matchup got a lot easier because now the number 2 is going to Chase, and now the number 3 is on Higgins. So
Yeah.
I think this could be a really, really, really bad game for the Jets overall, and I think Flacco just continues to do what he's been doing. And then my tight end, I got Dalton Schultz versus San Francisco. Also, this is kind of assuming Nico misses this week. He's on a short week coming off a concussion. So if Nico is in, I don't like it as much, but I still think he's a pretty good floor play. But I think without Nico in, Schultz's ceiling just gets a lot higher. We saw this past week he had 9 for 98 on 10 targets. But even with Nico in, he's had 4 straight games with 6 targets. And after Nico left this game, he saw 5 targets in the fourth quarter. So I think this could be like a 12, 14 target game for Schultz. Maybe he falls in the end zone. And San Francisco, since Warner has been gone, not great against tight ends. So the floor is there. But yeah, I like Schultz this week if you need it, because we got Laporta, Bowers, and McBride on bye this week. So there's a good chance Schultz is just sitting on waivers this week. Wow, I need water before my last one.
Yeah, I know it's a lot, man.
Yeah, but my last one's pretty easy. It's the Colts defense versus the Titans. Kind of going off last week, I picked the Patriots versus the Titans. They had a nice game. So just keep exploiting this Titans offense because it is a dumpster fire.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah, no, good list. I really like that. The Rodgers revenge game, and that'll be a good one for sure. So
yeah. I think it's a little bit less bad blood like there was against the Jets.
Yeah. I don't think
he fucking hated the Jets.
Yeah,
I think he likes the Packers.
Well, did you see that thing that came out about him? The owner, what's his name? What's the owner of the Jets name?
Woody Johnson.
Woody. Yeah, I knew it was Johnson. I couldn't think of his first name. Woody.
The shit he's saying about Fields right now.
The shit he's saying about Fields, and like, there's been this common denominator of people not getting along in there, and it being involved with Woody, and so Aaron Rodgers, when he was with the Jets, at the first year, or however long it was, they were doing. The Jets were having like these food trucks come and do food for the guys, like a lot of the days through practice or something like that. I can't remember it was practice or training camp or whatever it was, but I think it was practice because I think it was through the season, and it was like costing too much money. I guess it was like $10,000 a month or something like that to do it, which is crazy it's crazy expensive, but also crazy that the Jets can't pay that. But anyway, and so Woody stopped doing it, and Aaron Rodgers just said, no, screw it. Like, I'll take care of the guys, and I'll pay for it out of my pocket and do it. And Woody got mad at Aaron Rodgers for undermining him. Like, what? He's being a good leader. Like, what the hell?
It's so obvious Rodgers was not the problem in New York.
Yeah, it's not. It wasn't Rodgers.
I think we'll kind of see that with Fields in a few years.
Dude, I had a whole thing today between a couple people because I put out how like it's some of it's Fields, but a lot of it should not be blamed on him. Like, he's been in 2 poverty franchises, and then when he played for the Steelers, he was playing very well and winning.
Yeah,
like
the sample size we have of quarterbacks sucking on the Jets and then going elsewhere and doing well.
It's too big.
It's enough to still make me kind of believe Fields can turn it around with, like, I don't know, maybe he'll go to the Rams after Stafford retires or something like that.
Dude, if he goes to a franchise that's not perennially run like a dumpster, like, he would be fine. He played very well, and he's not turning the ball over. He's just not as aggressive but the scheming, I think, is horrendous for his fit, and it's not working.
You've got to structure the offense a little bit better.
Yeah, around him. You got to structure it around him.
Yeah,
and they're not.
He's obviously not playing well, but I think just the shit like Woody said about him, like You can't. Like, what player wants to go there?
No. Yeah, they're just running into the ground like that, man.
I don't know. I think,
Yeah.
But
It's what can we do? But
yeah,
we'll go on to our Pine players of the week. And just before we started recording, OTL was saying like because of the bye apocalypse this week, it's really
it's so
tough to
bad.
say to sit people. So it's
Yeah,
kind of like if you have a potential better option or just like really temper your expectations and hope for the best with these players.
yeah.
Um so my first one, I'll let you get your break. My first one was Tet versus Buffalo. Tet's honestly the only good game really that you're like, yeah, I started him for was the Cowboys game. And he had 3 catches, 2 of them were touchdowns. And they're about to play Buffalo with Andy Dalton passing the ball. That Buffalo defense is good, and Tet just he hasn't proved it to me yet that I can like feel good about starting him, especially against a tougher defense. So Tet's got to be my sit this week. JCM, old Bill Krosky Merritt. That Chiefs
Man,
run D
back to
is
back rough weeks for Bill.
yes, and
Yeah,
they're playing a Chiefs defense that's good at the run D.
yeah.
And Jaden Daniels isn't going to be playing. And who knows if Debo and Terry are going to be playing to help relieve some of that like attention.
Terry, where have you seen Terry this year at all?
Dude, I don't know what's going on with him.
Well,
I
like,
don't know.
are we sure he's alive? Can we get
Yeah.
him holding up this week's newspaper?
Yeah, right.
Like,
Like seriously, I don't know what's going on there, and if they're not on the field, like last week they played Dallas, and he should have had a good week, and he
yeah,
did not. So, especially if those two don't play again, it's just like it's cooked. Don't play JCM. Do anything you can to find someone else to play this week, and
but
take a
it's
break
just
from
so
him.
hard.
It's hard. It's
Like,
hard with all the buys. It
yeah,
is, and running
but
backs thin as it is, so it's
he's
tough.
he's a really low expectation this
Like I
week.
would play a Manun guy over him if you have him or can get him. Like I would play him. The
Really,
upside I feel is
that's
better.
a hot
Yeah,
take.
I would do it. I would feel better this week with him.
Swift is on the injury report though, so
Mhm.
maybe
You never know.
you never
Um,
know.
and then tight ends really hard because of this bipocalypse stuff. Hawkinson versus Chargers is my choice. None of it feels great. Like he got a lot of targets last week. I just think the Chargers D is going to be a little bit more of a challenge for him. So he's the
Yeah,
guy. If you have someone like a Henry or a Fannin or someone you can play in place, I would probably do that. And then CJ Stroud versus the 49ers. Stroud isn't doing great against defenses that are good. So the Niners defense is still pretty good, and
yeah,
I don't see it getting much better. So just short and sweet, Stroud's just not it for me this week. If you have better
yeah.
options, for sure, play them.
Side note, he's getting killed every single play. I don't know if you watched the Monday night game, but he
Well,
was getting
almost.
crushed.
He's not getting sacked enough. I needed a freaking sack, just one
Oh,
sack to win my
from the
matchup
Seahawks.
at the last
Yeah.
quarter of the game, and they couldn't get one.
Well, they should
So
have had a touchdown, right? Or a
yeah,
safety.
the guy dropped the ball. It would have been a touchdown. He
Yeah.
got tackled and just dropped the ball like at the goal line. That would have won
Yeah.
it too. Yeah, that was frustrating. But yes, he is getting hammered a lot.
Yeah. I mean, just to go off a tangent here, I feel like certain quarterbacks get like O line excuses like Burrow and Herbert like every week, and then
Mhm.
Stroud is kind of like, oh, Stroud sucks. Like we can just throw his career down the drain. He's
Yeah.
finished. He shouldn't even get a second contract.
No,
Um,
I agree.
I was just a little
I
upset
agree.
seeing all the Stroud hate on Twitter. Like he is in such a horrible situation this
Yeah,
year.
he just has no one to
Um,
protect him. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, going off the Pine players, I've got a couple receivers. I'm not loving Kendrick Bourne anymore after this past
Yeah.
week. I don't think the 49ers are like I think we saw the floor this week, and the floor is like a 4 point game for Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah.
Now that I guess Jawan Jennings is back healthy after an entire broken rib cage and 40 twisted ankles.
Yeah.
I guess he's back to demanding 7 targets a game.
Yeah.
But yeah, along with that, the offense is just all McCaffrey. So Kendrick Bourne is probably fourth in the pecking order at this point, behind Kittle, behind Jennings, behind CMC. So I don't. He was a nice player for a few weeks, but I don't think you can trust him anymore. And then Quentin Johnston going into Thursday night versus Minnesota. Obviously, we talked about the matchup with Minnesota last week before facing the Eagles. They were really good against receiver. And then the Eagles kind of jumbled those numbers around. Now they're around like fifth best against receiver. But yeah, Quentin Johnston, like we talked about this Chargers offense, you just cannot trust. I think you can trust Ladd maybe the most to get there weekly, but Quentin Johnston is probably the receiver you can trust the least between him, Keenan Allen, and Ladd. He's very touchdown dependent, and he could save his day with a touchdown, but his floor just isn't like where it is with Ladd and Keenan. And then you got the tight end Gadsden coming around too, kind of demanding targets too. So now it's like he's fighting for targets with three other players now. So
yeah,
it's just not a player I'm excited to start every week. Gosh, I need a break. All right, running backs. Ramondre Stevenson going up against Cleveland. We did see Stevenson get his most touches this past week versus a really bad Titans run defense. He capitalized off it. He got a nice week. He got a touchdown and around 100 yards. But, I mean, this Cleveland run defense, I don't really think we need to go into it. Everyone kind of knows they are the stone wall for running backs. They just held Achane to like his worst game of the year. With most of those points coming off two plays as well. So they held him in check most of the game. But yeah, the Patriots, they've been winning through Drake May, and I think that's how they win this week as well. And then Jalen Ward versus Green Bay, another really tough matchup, but probably a guy you're going to have to play this week just with, the volume will be there, but the Green Bay run defense is just really good. They're giving up 66.5 yards per game to running backs and just 2 rushing touchdowns all year. And they're allowing around 17 fantasy points to running backs. Gainwell is still kind of the thorn in his side, taking away some receiving work as well. So Warren, he'll get there through volume maybe, but I just don't think he'll be very efficient as he has been in past weeks. And then my last one, I don't know if you like this one, but I'm putting Jackson Dart on the bench this week versus Philly. I think Philly, we saw him go off with Jalen Carter and Quinyon Mitchell out. We saw him have a good game then. But they both should be back this week. And this past week, he did have a really good fantasy outing, but it was a little fluky. He did have a deflected touchdown go off someone's helmet, and then that was a 40-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
And then he got a 1-yard rushing touchdown off like 4 pass interferences and 2 dropped interceptions on that drive. He got there. So he had he finished with a really good fantasy outing, but I don't know. This feels like a statement game for the Eagles to just shut down the Giants and kind of get back to what we think the Eagles should be. So Dart, I think obviously in like super flex league, you're starting Dart, but Dart is kind of around that like high end QB2 this week for me. I think I'd rather go with Rodgers this week, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think about Dart?
I disagree. I think I like Dart this week. I mean, I don't expect him to drop 30, but I think he'll still have like a solid week. He can run on Philly, and as good as Jalen Carter's been, he's still dealing. He's not 100% yet, so I do think there's ways around him if you can get around Carter. So Dart, it's gonna be on him to get something out of this offense, him and Scat. So I still like them both this week. Scataboo, the last time they played was my smash play of the week. He dropped 30 on him, so hopefully he does that again this week. But getting into
I want to get a little frisky with my sets.
A little frisky.
The quarterbacks are like, I feel like the quarterbacks are all once you get past a certain range of quarterbacks, it's like,
They're
yeah,
all
no shit, you're
fine.
not playing Spencer Rattler this week, you know?
Right. You know
So
what's
I
funny?
don't know.
There's a dynasty that I have to play him this week.
Superflex?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think
Yeah.
Superflex leagues, every quarterback in the league is getting played this week. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm starting Dylan Gabriel and Michael Penix in a Superflex league this week. So
Nice. That'll be
prayers
fun.
up for me
Yeah, prayers
because
up.
I had Fields as my quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah. I had Fields in a lot of leagues. That's one of those players I could say I wish I drafted less of, but all good.
Yeah,
But yes, so into the Smash player. Speaking of it, when with Scatty there, so I'm gonna do another giant. Um, and for me this week though, it's not gonna be Scataboo, which I still think has a good week, but I want to do Wandale Robinson. Now, the biggest reason is because he's clearly getting like he's getting the most targets on the team. He's the target hog
yeah,
on the team with Neighbors and Slayton out. And Slayton maybe plays, and even if he does, I still don't think it matters. The way that the Philly defense will bring some pressure to Dart. Robinson's the guy I think who's gonna get a lot of that like quick pass stuff, and and he gets deep balls too. Like he's catching deep balls
yeah,
as well. So Robinson's just having a pretty solid year. He's had a good few solid weeks. Last week was really good. So I believe that that's what's gonna happen this week again for Wandale. I see him getting in the end zone and getting probably 10 plus targets with 7-8 catches and yeah. I think pretty simply put, it's just set up for him to have a good week
yeah.
against Philly. So, yeah,
I
that's
did
my
like Wandale
Mhm.
as well, but I was looking at his numbers versus Philly were really good,
Yeah,
but I am worried if will Quinion Mitchell be on Wandale, but I don't know because Wandale is a slot guy.
yeah, he's a
Quinion's
smaller
kind of an
slot.
outside corner guy,
Yeah,
but it's a little risky. But I think Wandale's a must start this week. He's
yeah,
demanding like 10 targets a game with
Mhm.
Dart, and the next best option is Theo Johnson, maybe. Like
Right.
his competition is really really light.
hmm
He's probably going to be like a 30% target share guy this year. Go like rest of the season.
Yeah, totally. Unless they go and make the
Um,
move for like a Waddle or something.
yeah, that would suck for Wandale, but
Yeah,
oh well.
all right.
Um, Also, can we talk about how we have 2 3 touchdown games on our smash plays? You had Scatabo and now I had Adams last week.
Oh, really? Yeah. No,
Yeah.
nice. Cool. So maybe one of us gets it again
So
this
our
week.
our smash starts are kind of killing it this year.
Kind of doing good. All right.
Yeah.
I love it. Mine last
Um,
week was Mason, and he was okay. He wasn't a
yeah.
smash.
He fell into the end zone.
Mm.
Did you see that touchdown? That was so
Close.
that was
Yeah,
so I was like, "Oh,
that
I don't know if he
was.
got there." And then
Yeah,
I thought they were going to uphold that Hawkinson touchdown too, and I was like, "This is a
yeah,
really really unlucky game for the Eagles if they called that a touchdown."
yeah. Right.
um, anyway, so mine going off script a little bit here. I'm going with quarterback. I'm going with Bo Nix taking on Dallas. Um, just coming
Yeah.
off his crazy 40-point week, I think that helps. Almost all in the fourth quarter too.
Mhm.
Um, but I mean, the Cowboys defense, they're terrible versus quarterbacks. They're still, I believe, around like fifth in points per game allowed to quarterbacks.
Mhm.
And I just Bo Nix is running a lot this year. He's been he's been kind of up and down, but I think he usually shows out against poor defenses. He usually gets
Yeah.
like a 20 to 30-point game.
Mhm.
Um, so I think this is a good spot. I think Dallas offense they're going to put up points and they're going to force the Broncos offense to score. Um, so yeah, I see this being a really high scoring shootout type game, and we just saw what Bo Nix does in those games. He gets 4 total touchdowns and 250 yards in the fourth quarter. So
Yeah.
yeah, I like Bo Nix to go crazy this week. I think he's top five-ish quarterback um, overall this week.
Cool. Yeah, I can agree with that for sure. it's Dallas. So
Yeah, you've got Sutton,
yeah,
so we'll
and
go
I got
double
Sutton.
whammy.
Right. Well, Sutton had an okay week last week. He got some work. He got plenty of work. He just never found the
Yeah,
end zone. Got a 2-point conversion, but he
yeah.
disappointed me a tad last week. But because I've got a
I mean,
lot of people.
Sutton this week, you've got him as a must start.
But
So
this week I got him as a must
yeah,
start and was close to my smash play. He was very close.
yeah,
But I went with somebody just a tad deeper and went with Wandale for
yeah,
that. Just because I feel like Sutton will be a little more obvious where I'm trying to get away
yeah,
from I'm trying to go with some players that will that like you're really really thinking about like if you
yeah.
should start them. So which is what we you do the same. That's what we try for these plays. But yeah, cool. So Bo Nix and Wandale Robinson should start them in your life. So I've got a quick question for you before we go. And my home league, I have Igbuka. I'm just gonna call it league of record. In my league of record, I have Igbuka, Cortland Sutton, George Pickens, and Wandale Robinson. I can only start 3 of them. Who out of that 3 would you start?
You said Egbuka, Pickens, Sutton, Robinson.
Yeah, this week.
I think. I mean, I think you got to sit Robinson, unfortunately.
And because he's my smash play this week. Now
Right.
I'm a phony if I don't start him, but I have a
Egbuka,
lineup.
Sutton, Pickens.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I think the only guy you consider there is Pickens.
but you don't.
But
Because it's
yeah,
the Dallas offense. Sertan won't be on him. He'll be on Lamb, so that should open things up for Pickens more.
Will
What do you do?
Surtain could be on Pickens a little bit.
He could be he'll probably be switching it up depending on line formations and stuff.
Lamb will probably move in the slot.
Yeah.
Um,
Sertan will be on him sometimes for sure, but I know he'll definitely be covering Lamb more.
I know damn well Riley Moss won't be on George Pickens.
No,
no, he better not be, or else he'll have 500 yards.
I know. Well, I hope he is because I want Pickens to go crazy, and I want Dallas to win. But yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I would
so
probably sit Wandale, and
I probably have to because you're not sitting Egbuka,
no,
and the matchup is just way too juicy for Sutton, and then Pickens, like you're just not gonna sit Pickens either. Like I talked about it. You're not sitting him. It doesn't matter. So. If there is one, like I personally was like, I don't know, maybe it is. Maybe you have to go with Sutton instead, or go with sit him instead. If you really, really think Wandale's going to smash, and I think he will, but I think there's risk of him not more than there is of the other guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't know what the ceiling is for Wandale compared to those guys. Like, all 3 of those guys could give you 30 points and you wouldn't be surprised. But I think if Wandale got you 30, you'd be like, wow, Wandale is yeah, that's a career game for Wandale.
Right. Yeah, like his best is 24 or something, which is good. That's a smash. But yeah.
But I have a question. I made a trade today in my home league. In a league I have a lot of receivers in. For context, I've got Nico, Tet, Igbuka, Pittman, Olave, Addison, and Metcalf as my receivers.
Wow.
And at my running backs, I had Gibbs, Swift, Hampton on IR, and Woody Marks. Mm-hmm. So I made a move for James Cook and Romeo Doubs, and I gave up Swift and DK Metcalf.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a fairly known disliker of Swift. I don't ever believe in him.
I think I'm selling him peak value right now.
Sell him now if you got him.
Yeah.
He's not going to do this all year. He just doesn't. He's always like running back 18 to 20. Like sell him while you can. It's not going to last, especially with Monongai kind of like breaking out slightly, having like a good game. He'll get some more touches.
And Swift popped up on the injury report this week. I feel like he's always on the injury report.
Right.
He's kind of made a glass, low key.
One play can screw up the rest of the season. So, I like the trade. That's a good trade. I like it.
Yeah, so now my running backs for the rest of the season after the bye week, I got Gibbs and Cook.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
feeling good about that. But I'm not feeling good about quarterback anymore. Jay Daniels, however long he's out, I got Caleb Williams this week. Caleb Williams was my must start last week, and he shit the bed.
Yeah, I played him. Thank God he did. But geez,
Yeah,
yeah, shocking. He was
that was my worst must start of the week.
Yeah,
but
cool.
What can you do?
What can you do? Yeah,
we don't control these players, unfortunately.
We don't. We just get to watch and hope.
We just assume we know what we're talking about.
Right.
Then the NFL flips itself on the head every week.
Every time, dude. Every time. We can never get it figured out.
Nope, that's what's so great.
But yeah, cool. So it looks like that's gonna do it for us this week. Of course, again, as usual, follow us, our ats here on X. You can DM us, add us, whatever you want. Just reach out to us for any questions. Leave questions down in the comments below. Ask us anything you want for rest of season, start sits, whatever it is. Go to the Fantasy Sports Advice Network. Subscribe there. You can get all sorts of expert advice and articles and videos and you name it. It's all there for every sport. I'll put the link for that down below. I'll put our X's down below just in case you just want to click button and get to there. Then that's easy too. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you can win your matchups this week. Keep that playoff push alive. And any last words out of you?
Good luck to all through By-Mageddon. It's going to be a tough one.
Good luck for By-Mageddon. I put up a By-Mageddon video on my YouTube, so if you're feeling frisky and want to check it out, feel free. But yeah, no, thanks for coming in, guys. Have a good weekend, and we will see you next week.